Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, gamers and gamettes. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm gonna do something completely off the script. I want to go over some of the comments from the past 2 months or so on my YouTube videos of people really asking questions about Devourer or just asking questions about WoW in general. So I already answered them individually, but I figured some of these answers and these questions might be useful for everybody else to hear as well, so they don't have to go through every video to look for the comments. So instead we do all of it here. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna be going over, like I said, the comments that we got. Most of them are questions about the spec itself or something of the kind. My answer, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on it so I can give you the most detailed possible answer. And yeah, hopefully, this is something that's gonna help you out. I hope you enjoy. So we're gonna start with the first video was 5 tips and tricks on playing Devourer DH as not. Thank you so much for the comment, by the way. Dope video. Would be awesome to get your guide/talents you're using. From what I guess, you're mostly playing Annihilator without collapsing star. It would be awesome to get more raw games or guides in any kind of way, so I'm working on that. Thank you so much, first of all. Second of all, yes, so at the time the video was recording, I was playing, I kind of went through multiple phases. I went through the phase of playing collapsing star when Midnight came out, into getting angry because people were dealing with collapsing star, and starting to play without it, with Annihilator without collapsing star and just with reap, consumes and shit, with surrender to the void. Now I'm kind of going back towards collapsing star, and now we're going in between a bit of both. So really, Annihilator is not too bad. It really isn't that bad. Even with collapsing star, sometimes it is a bit troll, but it's a bit inconsistent, and we're going to talk about it a lot over the course of this video. But it works. Sometimes you get some nice little clips and the damage is kind of crazy, but once again, inconsistent. So for that reason, we're compensating by playing without it, and just casting more void rays, casting more reaps, casting more consumes, etc. Kemi87, what are those weapons? I want to play this game so bad. I was watching DH open world PvP and the mobility was crazy. So in this case, what he was talking about was the weapons themselves. They have this little obviously glowing orb, little galaxy effect to it, which I think the way to get is by getting elite. I hope that answers the question. Let's keep going. Just Q3s. Very useful comment. Awesome, very helpful guide on the complete Devourer DH talent guide I made at the time. Super awesome. Thank you so much, Azanoth. I like this comment over here. I like this comment was very, very important. Rolling Torment talent only works if you take collapsing star for some reason. I wasn't even aware of that, but you most likely dropped one talent to take CS. So in the first video that I made, I did suggest people to take Rolling Torment, but I wasn't aware of this mechanic. I thought it might work like this, but I wasn't sure. I hadn't tested it. But it makes sense, and I've seen it in action. Rolling Torment is no bueno if you're not playing with collapsing star, so just don't use it. Use Void Glare Boon instead. The next one, okay, Geomar6736, can you show us your gear and stats? Been trying to climb on solo as Devourer and Havoc. Best so far 1908 as Havoc, but as Dev 1555. Even with your guide, which is very helpful, I'm struggling. So this is still on the first talent guide we made. Yeah, I mean, so the gear and stats, technically they're gonna be in a new video. I'm making a guide, another guide right now. I'm just supposed to edit it. I've had it recorded for a week now, but I just didn't edit it. In the video that you saw, the complete Devourer DH talent guide as 2300 player, at the time I was playing with Haste Mastery. Shortly after, I started playing with Verse Mastery, the same talents, but just with Verse Mastery. But now we're kind of going back to Haste Mastery, and we're rotating between the two accordingly. Both of them are very good, honestly. Both are good options. Verse will make you a bit tankier, but Haste Mastery will make you shoot those consumes at the speed of light. It's ridiculous how good it is. I'm having a lot of fun playing with this. So both are options. Both Haste Mastery and Verse Mastery go really hard for this spec. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling. Devourer, or at least Annihilator, in terms of its consistency, sometimes it will be completely broken, sometimes it will do joke of a damage. So it just takes a little bit to get used to it. I'm confident you'll get up there. You just keep pumping, and without a doubt you'll get a Fever Dream 7777 Charred Warblades. I don't know why it's here. It's in the main DH tree because of Shared Havoc and Vengeance for their fire damage. Just an oversight for new Devourer. Right, yeah, I talked about it in the guide. I wasn't sure why the fire damage healing percentage was a thing when we had zero fire damage, so I don't know. It is what it is. Let's keep going. This is a good one. I'm gonna make a video specifically for this as well. Hital ENC commenting on the video 5-1 versus rank 1 Warlock Stinky. Good stuff. Good question. Do you recommend Void Scar or Annihilator depending on the com/bracket, or is Annihilator just better right now? Thank you. Keep up. First of all, thank you so much for the comment, my man. Overall, so listen, this is I'm gonna develop it more in another video, but right now, to answer the question, because I keep getting it all the time, Void Scarred is better 99% of the time. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but 90% of the time, Void Scarred is better. Not necessarily because of the damage, but because of everything else that comes with it. So quicker more uptime due to Metamorphosis being 35 souls. You're gonna play with Glimpse if you're playing Void Scarred, and you're gonna be hopping left and right, so you're gonna have a lot of CC immunity and DR. You're gonna be really hard to kill. People are bitching a lot about that right now, rightfully so, potentially. And third of all, the damage is really good. Like you can have your Metamorphosis window at the same time as an Enhancement Shaman and just go pop off at the same time at one person and go for the one-shot kill. It's really good. I just don't play it myself because I don't feel like it's as much my style, and I really like Annihilator. I really like playing the caster build, but it's not better. I like playing Annihilator, but it's not better. Unless it's like one of those scenarios where everybody just completely ignores you for 30 hours and you're allowed to free cast, then it's better. But I wouldn't say that makes the spec the spec better. I would say that makes it not quite as bad, because Void Scarred would still be better in the end. So I would say in the end, Void Scarred rank 1, Annihilator just slightly lower, but lower regardless. You can still make it work to very high rating regardless. I've gotten to 2844 rating in solo shuffle. I think that's my peak in the DH with Annihilator, while mostly everybody else plays with Void Scarred, so I'm happy with this. But yeah, thank you so much for the question. Thank you for the kind comments, my friend. It's Soul Curry. Which Annihilator build seems best? Collapsing Star or just consume Reap with Surrender? It depends case by case. In lobbies where you're playing against specs that have a lot of ways of dealing with the Collapsing Star, among those I'm counting mages, feral druids overall, to be honest, maybe DKs, warlocks, things that have like insta CC, a lot of micro CCs, rogues as well. Anything that can just like stop you from casting Collapsing Star and they're actually paying attention to you, that is not a place you want to use it. You just do not want to fuck with it. Just stay away from it. Stick with Surrender to the Void and Consume and Reaps, you know? Like, even then, if they kick you, you're kind of toast, but it's gonna be a lot harder for them to stop your damage other than just straight up kick. So you know, just be mindful of that. Look at what happens with your opponents if they train you. If not, if they go on a mage, then you can just stick with Collapsing Star, for example, and just one-shot them, because they're going to be far away chasing a mage that's kiting them all the way to Zimbabwe, and you're sitting still casting Consumes and Collapsing Star. So I hope that makes sense. Also here, Aza5184 as a follow-up. What would you say for Blitz? Void Scar, I would say all the way here as well. Or Annihilator, but with 50 souls. I wouldn't play Surrender to the Void in Blitz at all. I don't know. It takes too long to get those 100 souls, and the fights are so stupid, the teams are so bad that most of the time you might just end up dying alone or something like that, or doesn't matter. So I would stay away from Surrender to the Void. Maybe Annihilator with Collapsing Star kind of works, but the MVP would be Void Scarred in my opinion. Hope that answers the question. Fever Dream 777, again, a lot of us are playing Void Scarred with Glut, and you're playing Annihilator with Surrender to the Void. Isn't it rough getting to 100 stacks and shuffle? Seems like very little initial pressure and the possibility of losing the match before you reach 100. Do you have comment or guidance on that? So once again, I got the answer right here. It's not that bad with well-aimed Void Rays and Sweet Release, the talent that makes you get that has like a 4% chance to get more souls per tick of damage. you end up getting there a lot faster than you would think, and it doesn't take 2 minutes either to get there. You know, you just gotta hope that you/your teammates can survive the initial burst, and then you just overwhelm people with pure damage and 6-figure consumes. So that was my answer. But to develop it a little bit more, it is true there is very little initial pressure, but that is completely fine. You can focus on being a little bit on the defensive, and making sure your teammates don't die, being mindful to drop the darkness. For example, if a shaman or an enhancement shaman is popping off on your teammate, and a warrior speared him there, you might want to be mindful and just teleport on top of him, drop a little darkness to keep him safe and shit like that. So being defensive a little bit at first isn't that bad. Not having to focus on doing damage and just focusing on surviving is also not that bad of a thing. Plus, like I said, in solo shuffle, getting the 100 souls is honestly not as bad as you would think. You get there a lot faster than you would think. In a bunch of games, I get to have 2 metamorphoses of Surrender to the Void, so 200 souls gathered at some point in some solo shuffle rounds, and it just kind of works out in the end. Just, you know, survive the early game, which should be doable. We have the tools for that, and especially if we have teammates, and then you just one-shot them. I hope that makes sense. Azanoth again, my man. Lovely, need collapsing starter talents next. Been pumping with it to 2.6k. It works pretty well too. That's fucking sick. 2.6k is not a joke, bro. Well done. Biggest Annihilator fan right here. Hell yeah. So yeah, I said I was gonna record a collapsing star build, but it took a little bit, unfortunately. Sorry. I've been, well, I want to say lazy, but it hasn't even been that. I've just been all over the place in real life. It's been hard to get anything done productively, so it is what it is. I'm sorry about that, but you should expect it within the next day or so. I'm gonna edit it as well. Next is won the game, lost my will to live in the stun chain. So here I was playing against a bunch of rogues. Devourer problems, I feel ya. Just FYI, Void Scarred Hunt gives you a couple extra glimpses. Feels incredible to outplay rogues this way, but it ain't easy. Not only it ain't easy, I think it's like 80% pure luck in this case, because most of them just randomly fucking press CCs at one time, and even if you're playing Void Scarred and you have glimpse, you can't glimpse away when you're stunned, so it doesn't matter. In the end, you're still gonna get cooked. You're just gonna hope that you can glimpse at the perfect time, at the exact second the rogue decides to randomly fucking kidney and one-shot you. So I don't think it really changes much in that regard, unfortunately. Just don't get there, don't let him get in that situation isn't really a good solution, unfortunately. Another one, in my opinion, we Devourers are very weak in BGs. My biggest criticism has to do with only 25 yards of range. We just aren't effective, and we're too squishy to push up. We have to sit back and do near nothing most of the time. I wish the game designers would just give us 40 yards and reap and consume. I feel like 40 yards would make Devourer be the most OP class in the game. I actually have no doubt about it. Class that can do everything on the move and have insta cast for 6 digits, hitting from 40 yards from the range of a marksmanship hunter, almost, I think, would be a bit too much, I think. You know, don't get me wrong, I love it, but what can you do? Why veteran rogues scare me as DH I was talking about. Why rogues that have been one-tricking their spec for 17 billion years, they're very scary. And specifically due to the comment right here, what's scary for me is their mentality. They are so patient, they will disengage from combat, let the world burn around them, and wait for the right condition to kill you and only you. You call it patient, I call it being scummy. Because I was talking here once again about you know, CC chains and everything, and how AIDS it is to play against it. And I find the gameplay of CC somebody permanently so they can't play the game while you one-shot them completely stupid. So I'm sorry, but unfortunately when it comes to this, like, I have zero respect for rogue players. All these specs that like do one-shots that don't let you play and just one-shot you in CC chains. So I would say like a Feral Druid, rogues, Warlocks to some extent, like a Destruction Warlock with Soul Fires and Chaos Bolts while you're feared away, you're coiled. It's among those levels as well. So I really hate it, and you're gonna be hearing me criticize it a lot. You're gonna hear me bitch a lot about it. Fuck all these specs and fuck the players that play them. You are not talented because you can fucking kidney into a cheap shot, into a cheap shot, into a fucking blind, into a Hodge, into a fucking fear, into a polymorph, into a fuck you. So anyway, let's continue. I'm kidding. You can see my inner tilt return a little bit just thinking about it. Let's continue here. Perfect. Supreme I am. Perfect. Watch your vids all the time. Trying to get your level on DH. You can do it, brother. You can fucking do it. I believe. Now, the video that I made, the Devourer DH ruining the WoW midnight experience. I fucking love making that video. I need to get some more clips. I haven't ran into as many streamers to hit them with a collapsing star, unfortunately. Retail is dog shit. Come on, bro. Just fuck off. So it's classic. Like, come on. WoW just isn't what it used to be. It isn't. It is what it is. Gosh, I was searching for days a PvP guide for Annihilator DH. Happy that I found your channel. Great work. Keep it up, mate. Subscribe right away. Guilherme Pandolfi 5988. Thank you so much for the kind words, my man. I hope you enjoy the videos and I hope that they're helpful. Like I said, I'm gonna keep pumping them out. I've started really enjoying making guides and trying to help people get the hang of this fucking stupid class, so stay tuned. Song name, and this is me complaining in 2v2s about CC chains. People really give up their self-respect to play as cheap as this. They don't care how cheap they gotta play as long as it's easy and a win. And to show exactly what I mean, this is the video that we were talking. This is the comment that we had. So just to explain what I was talking about, why I hate 2v2 so much, and just overall the meta of the game right now. Look at the skills, okay, that you're gonna cast on me. Okay, we're gonna do a count of skills. Blink, stunned, CC, 1 CC, into another stun, 2 CCs. Into incap 3. He wants to clone. If I didn't kick him, he would have cloned. That was his other cast of fucking CC again. Cloned, kick, then he kicks me. That's whatever, that's fine, fuck it. More damage. He clones 5. He clones and he fucking root in my healer. We go back here, 6 up here. And then what? 7, another stun. So this was in a period of 30 seconds. 7 CCs in a period of 30 seconds. Almost a third of the game. If you were to cast the CC every second, almost a third of the game was him casting those fucking CCs. And they're into another incap, into another fear. He's cloning again, FYI. So the meta is disgusting. The meta for World of Warcraft Midnight, actually retail, Classic as well. From what I've seen, Classic is what inspired cancer bullshit of rogues, sap into fucking kidney, into cheap shot, or whatever the order is. I don't give a shit. It's the same talentless bullshit. All of this is extremely tilting, and the people that do this even more in 2v2s are disgusting, really. I agree. People give up their self-respect just to get fucking points. That's it. You know, it's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not exciting killing somebody who can literally not fight back versus you. What's the point at this point? Like, what? Anyway, little side note, we're done with this. Let's keep going. It's a fucking joke. Is this a whole class? Bro spamming 3 spell and someone dies. Question, ... You summed up World of Warcraft. I'm sorry, but you summed up World of Warcraft Midnight right here. I don't think there's a fucking spec that has like more than 3-4 crazy big burst options. Now, to continue, reminds me that I want to create a macro for shuffle that yells, I pop meta, big damage coming, chain CC on the healer. A very smart move. Even I haven't done that myself, even though I thought of it. I haven't done it yet, but absolutely we should. I thought it would be easier for people to see a giant blue demon in the middle of the map, but surprisingly it's a bit harder to see than I thought it would. So maybe having a shout wouldn't be bad. Not that people read them either. I have a shout for darkness, and 60% of people walk out of my darkness after I use it, so it's fine. I don't mean teleport or portal. I mean walk out of it, like RP, walk out of darkness. They see darkness, they see a giant chat bubble pop up, and they just slowly walk out of it and die. It's pretty cool. It's solo shuffle, no modicum of skill required. Agreed. Fuck this game. Do you play with collapsing star? On and off. Yes, Ahmed. We swap on and off between the two, depending on what's the composition and how the players are playing. Supreme I am, again, my man. Notice you're running a lot more haste mastery. Finding the risk of lower versatility is worth the damage increase. At the time I said I felt like this is better, like verse mastery is better, but it's 50-50. I don't know. Maybe it might be better because you're a bit tankier, but in terms of DPS and everything, in terms of how the spec feels, I'm not sure which is better yet. I'll have to do a bit more testing. But haste mastery also feels really good. To go up, quality first appliance repair, and this might be a business YouTube channel. I run all mastery versatility. Do you think haste is better? Not necessarily. First of all, thank you once again for the comment. I don't think it's necessarily better. In some situations it might be better than others. For example, if you're being trained a little bit, if it's a lobby where you're the main target and you're being trained by a warrior and a rogue, maybe playing verse mastery might be better, just so you can get that extra resist. But overall, haste is also good. I'm sorry, I wish I had like a clean answer for this, but both options are very good at the moment. Collapsing Star build guide time 10 days ago, and I said I was gonna post tomorrow being 9 days ago. I'm so sorry, Tristan. It's coming up, my friend. It's coming up. Retail is so trash. Shut the fuck up. Go play Classic. Go be 75 years old, bro. Fuck out of here. This spec is most fun I had in WoW PvP for a long time. Azunoth, my man, I fully agree. This is pretty sick. It is a pretty good spec. I like it. Oh no, I'm OP with the meta spec. Lame. Shut the fuck up, Diego. Anyway, to continue, Guilherme Pandolfi. Can you explain which PvP spells do you often choose? Surrender to the Void and Beckon seems to be standard, but when would you use Reverse Magic, Glimpse, and Armor of Souls? Also, is there any use for the spell Throw Glaive? I see you have a macro there. This one is one of the questions I had in mind when I thought about making this video. So for the PvP talents, Surrender to the Void isn't necessarily standard. Maybe, you know, if I'm playing without the Collapsing Star, it could be, but it's not necessarily standard. Beckon is absolutely, you cannot go without it. It's not a question. You cannot play without Beckon. I've done the test. I've talked about it on stream. In terms of the damage difference, you do about 30-something% less damage just from not having the insta-cast on Consume, because then you get kicked, and overall just less consumes, less metamorphosis. It's terrible. You cannot play without Beckon. I give it a shot. I would highly recommend you to not do it if you care about your mental health. As for the others, Surrender to the Void, for example, I would pick it specifically if I play against a mage or a warlock, something with range kicks for 6 seconds. They kill you. One CS on metamorphosis. If you don't have Surrender to the Void, we'll end it. Just call it. There's no way, unless you get like a Void Ray insta reap, and then you can build the rage back up. But 90% of the times you're cooked if you got kicked. So that's when I would pick it. So Reverse Magic, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I know people use it in 3v3s, but I feel like it's a bit troll. Well, it's probably, with Annihilator, it's a bit troll. With Void Scarred, it's probably not too bad. And I would use it then because you're always going to be in melee range and you can reverse magic on somebody, you know, who got CC'd because they're close to you. Just make sure you never use reverse magic versus a Warlock. You will die. Trust me, a Warlock specifically, Affliction Warlock. If you dispel UAs off of your team, there's a chance you might just one-shot yourself out of the game. So do not ever pick reverse magic versus Affliction Warlock. People say to use it against hunters, but a lot of them use Diamond Ice the second they see a DH, so there's no point really. You're getting a talent specifically for a trap that can be dispelled, so I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like it's a coin flip. Glimpse, on the other hand, if you're playing against, once again, rogue, warrior, paladin, some shit like that, and they're going on you, Glimpse is a good option there. Or something that you can predict when the big damage is coming, because you can just hop away as it's happening. So something with crazy burst in a second, enhancement shaman, elemental shaman, windwalker, maybe, as long as you hop away at the perfect time, you can reduce a lot of the damage taken and just survive CCs. So Glimpse is all about survivability when you need it. Armor of Souls is the same thing as well. I would pick it if I were Void Scarred. I don't play it as much with Annihilator, unless I think it's really, really bad, it's necessary, but I don't really pick it either. It's not too bad. it's a very good talent, and it helps you get souls, and it helps you take less damage from physical enemies, but you have to lose a lot of other good talents so you can use that, so I don't know. Also, is there any use for the spell Throw Glaive? I see you have a macro there. No, I unfortunately I just didn't remove it off of my keybar. I made a macro that was supposedly meant to target totems, whatever, grounding or a static link totem, spirit link, so I can one-shot it, but unfortunately that doesn't work anymore. That's what the macro was. But Throw Glaive is meant to be slow. The snare, I think it's like a 50% snare or 70%, I don't remember. So it does have its use. I try to use it literally every few seconds. If I'm not DPSing, if I'm kicked or something, I will throw slows on people. Trinita 84-82 on the 2v2 grind. You go 4-set inverse mastery. So in this video, I was 4-set inverse mastery. I am trying out right now haste mastery with only 2-set, but it, you know, the difference, we're talking about min-maxing like a few percentages. At this point, it's not necessarily the biggest of deals, but both are very good as well. I like squeezing that extra 5% damage out of Collapsing Star. Import string Munchie, I will have that done within the next few minutes. I'll edit it and I'll post it in the video, and I'll also reply to your comment. I'm so sorry I didn't have the import string. I completely forgot that's what people need to do for guides, because I never really watch guides myself, so I forgot about that. Tony Disnelai, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry for butchering it. Hello, where can I find your gear on DH? So I posted a link right here. I'm gonna leave it into the comments as well. It leads to my character's Drustvar page. You can find all the information over here, all the stats that I have. These are not updated, but you have all the information right here. It shows my enchants, it shows everything that I'm using. Oh, look, it even shows a rating. That's pretty cool. Yeah, look at that. Talented. It shows my talents as well, so if you want to take a look, they don't update very often, unfortunately. Here it takes about a day or so, maybe 12 hours to update. Maybe I need to update them manually, I'm not really sure, but regardless, the link will be in the description. All right, we're almost done. These are the last few comments. The last two I didn't even have time to respond to them as of yet. Abriff Teabag, hey, as someone who can log many hours at a time into the game, sorry, you mentioned a verse mastery build you have tested. That's what I was playing. Yeah, this is haste, no, not haste mastery, verse mastery, sorry. So yeah, but like I said, like I've talked about it so much right now, both verse mastery and haste mastery are an option. If you're playing verse mastery, I would say that, well, like once I've heard the same from pretty much everybody else, and I agree, the sweet spot is around 10 to 15% haste, and everything else into mastery and verse if you're playing that way. If not, you just put everything into haste and mastery, and it's the same thing. It's a good sweet spot to be at. Juggernaut 8044, great vid, please start uploading your strings for talents. Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for the comment. You're right, that's on me. I completely forgot about it. From now on, all the videos will have the strings so you can import them. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I never use them myself. Whenever I used to watch a video, all I would do is like see the talent they picked and see if I agree with it. If not, I picked something else and moved on. I never really just fully copy pasted, so I never used it. I'm sorry for that, but I'll have them ready. I'll even post them right here in the comments for you. And the last question of the day, PT7266. Been looking for info on this build forever, lol. In one of your other comments, you mentioned running 100 souls meta more often. I assume that means dropping glimpse, or do you drop hungering slash in that case? I see on Murloc most people run big meta instead of glimpse at this point, but I kind of like the idea of having more frequent goes and some more evasive potential. I guess people ignore Devourer so much it isn't needed. That is like well, actually one of the best questions, I guess, because at the same time you also gave the answer, and it's pretty well developed. Let me go at it one at a time. So if I'm playing 100 souls, I usually replace another talent. So I'm playing meta and 100 souls. That leaves a third talent that you can pick for glimpse or something else, whatever. Glimpse, armor of souls, reverse magic, whichever you want. Do you drop hungering slash in that case? Even if I'm not playing with glimpse, I'm still keeping hungering slash because it effectively gives you another, how much is it? I think another 2 leaps, if or something like that. If used properly, you can get basically 3 vengeful retreats, which are just for mobility, not to dodge CC. But I always have it because I like being mobile. I like if they get on top of me to DPS and I don't have any more shifts. I only had 1 vengeful retreat, but I used it and I'm cooked now. So I'd like to have another few options here so I can hop away. So I would never take off Hungering Slash. People do it because they're better players, but I don't. And I wouldn't recommend you to. And yeah, on Murloc, most people run big meta instead of glimpse at this point, but I kind of like the idea of having more frequent glows and some more evasive potential. Absolutely. Glimpse overall is a safer option. Because once again, it's damage reduction plus dodging CCs and everything else. It's a huge game changer. So if you can squeeze it in, do it. I would say, yeah, there's absolutely no reason not to play with Glimpse most of the time. But at the same time, you also are right. I guess people ignore Devourer so much, it isn't needed. And that's also true. In lobbies where people don't fuck with you, there's no point to having it. Granted, but you don't really have a way of knowing. I hope that answers the question. Like I said, this was a completely unstructured video. I had no clue what I was gonna say. There's gonna be a lot of into the video. I'm gonna try and edit a bunch of them out, but regardless, case in point. I hope that answers the questions. I think I'm going to be doing something like this maybe every month or so, maybe every 2 months, because these are important questions that could help a lot of people, and it would be great if they didn't have to go through all of my other videos and shorts to get answers to that. So yeah, anyway, I hope that answers your questions. I really appreciate every single one of you guys that have been liking and being in the videos, commenting and showing up to the stream. You guys are the absolute best, and you're supporting a massive fucking dream. I really am so grateful for having you guys. And I hope you keep, enjoying, you keep finding these guides helpful, because that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help show the world that WShadows exists, and he streams and he makes videos and he can teach you to be a god gamer. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to check me out on Twitch at WShadows for live gameplay. If you want to ask questions or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.